YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone. And 10 days ago I was at the gun store and I was looking for a 10mm pistol, and lo and behold, what did I see? Ruger Super Redhawk. Very hard to find. What did I like about it? I liked the massive revolver. Stainless steel. 7.5-inch barrel. 3.5 pounds. 6 shots. Extended frame for strength. Integral scope mounts with the scope mounts included. Nice double action and single action trigger. Not as good as Smith & Wesson, but still pretty darn good. Laser engraving. And there's no barrel warnings. Very fine sights that Ruger puts on their double action pistols. I've seen a lot of videos about the Super Redhawk, and I've always wanted one, and every video I've seen talks about this revolver being robust, built like a tank, very strong. Well, those are all true, but actually any revolver can be abused. And that's true for the Super Redhawk also. If you do a Dick Tracy and you're always snapping the cylinder closed, this revolver will not last. It'll be damaged. If you get any dirt in there, takes only a little bit of dirt, it'll put this gun out of commission. So yes, it might be a tank, but it's a tank that has some delicacy to it. 44 Magnum. Also has hoe grips with the recoil reduction. No side plates. So we'll treat this gun with respect and no abuse, and this gun should last a couple of lifetimes. I like it. I'm not going to turn this one loose. But what are some things I don't like about it? I'm going to give you a review without pulling any punches. So here are the things I don't like about this gun. Now bear in mind the objections I'm about to raise really may not be a problem. So let's go to the first one. And that is the fit of the crane to the receiver. It's not as good as it could be. It's not bad. But is this important? And the reason it's not important really is that the lockup of the Ruger Super Redhawk is very firm. That's accomplished by a detent on the crane that goes into a recess on the frame, locking the crane to the frame. And then you have the back end of the recoil shield has a pin that goes in there and supports the back end of the cylinder. 2-point contact. The bolt in the locking notch, 3-point contact. And then the 4th point is that when you are getting ready to drop the hammer and the trigger is pulled back, the hand is actually in the little advancing notch, giving another point of contact. So you got 4 points of contact at the moment that the hammer is dropping. So is the fit of the crane here a big deal? Probably not. And if they did make that imperceptible fit as some Smith & Wessons are, probably raise the cost of this revolver another $50. And here's another objection. And that is right here, where the flash gap is and where the flame cutting of the top strap normally occurs. Notice that if Ruger had extended this rear sight support over to here and then tapered it down, instead of having a taper short here, you'd have a double thickness in the top strap right there where the flame cutting occurs. And that could easily have been done making this truly robust. As it is, that's pretty strong, but it could be even better there. And does that matter? There's plenty of steel there. Would double thickness of steel really be that important? Probably not, but it could have been there. Now, look at that trigger. That little skinny trigger on this huge revolver. Is there any concern that that trigger might snap off right here, especially since they've skeletonized the back of the trigger? Looks pretty delicate to me. Sometimes we're doing double action, really hauling back on that, and triggers all the way back and we're still hauling on it. That puts a lot of pressure on that trigger. It could have been just as easily made to be a little bit more strong there, a little more robust. And then note that here's this huge mass of a cylinder, and it has to be advanced by that skinny little toothpick of a hand that comes up out of there and makes this big bulk of cylinder move. Why wouldn't we want a more robust, strong hand? That having been said, I'm sure Ruger would have made that stronger if it were really necessary, so if the parts don't break, well, then why are we complaining? Now finally, there's a little machining scar right here on the front of the cylinder face on one of the cylinders. On a gun of this quality and workmanship and materials, kind of sad to see a little problem like that there. Although again, is that cosmetic or does it make a problem? Finally, the front sight to me looks like it's a little bit on the short side. If I'm going to shoot heavier bullets in this thing, the tendency is going to be for it to shoot higher, like a little taller front sight. A taller front sight, if it's too tall, we can file it down. But when a front sight is on the short side, pretty hard to build it up. We'd have to take this front sight off and hopefully we could get a taller front sight for it. But why not have a taller front sight to begin with? So that's a little bit of a dislike on my part, but again, does that make a big difference? We'll find out. YouTubers out there, take care. I like this, don't get me wrong, but unlike a lot of other reviews, you heard some dislikes here. Bye for now.